Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Molinda Jae, and I'm here to talk about part 2 or just episode 2 of the Harry and Meghan episode, well, mini series on Netflix. Of course, with the second episode, I called it "The Veil Has Been Revealed" because what has been discussed with this episode is the relationship between Meghan and Harry becoming public. And of course, we are taking a deep dive into Meghan's childhood and her upbringing when it comes to family, life, acting, and activism. So within episode 2, my thoughts on it was that, again, Meghan is a force to be reckoned with, whether you know it or not. Meghan is a force to be reckoned with. The reason why, first things first, with Meghan, because after they explain, well, I believe they go into Meghan's upbringing first before they do the public, go out in public. And I believe this is when her mother comes out as well. Miss Doria breaks her silence. It's between the second and third episode. Either way it go, the mother Mary, not Mother Mary. Either way it go, Miss Doria, who is Meghan's mother, begins to break her silence because to some degree she had to keep her mouth closed for the longest until it was safe to tell her side of the story as well. So with Meghan's childhood, of course, she is a Leo, as I expected. I figured she was a Leo because of her boldness, her courageousness, and I could just tell because I have a Leo myself. All right. One and the reason why I say Meghan is a force to be reckoned with, because as a little girl, I believe at the age of 11, she wrote to the spokesperson. Well, she wrote to Ivory dish, hand soap, or just the Ivory brand that advertises the dish detergent, and how sexist it was for women to be in the kitchen, cleaning dishes and stuff like that. And just with her writing that letter and sending it to the people, and to come back and rewatch come back to the commercial again and see the change that they did with the commercial, all because of 11-year-old writing to them, stating the reasoning why this and this is happening and why it shouldn't be perceived that way. That's when she knew she was a force to be reckoned with. And plus, she has good penmanship too. Like, her handwriting is so gorgeous, so pretty. I believe she took a calligraphy course as well. So that's when I knew, especially when they was talking about it, and I believe that's when she knew she was a force to be reckoned with. Of course, she got straight A's in school. She was a honor student, and she loved to act as well because her dad, Mr. Thomas Markle, used to be the lighting director, not only for the set of I forgot the sitcom set that he was being the lighting director of, but he also volunteered, and I'm pretty sure he got paid somehow to be the lighting director at her school, to whenever they were doing plays for her, when she's in those plays. Okay. And let's see, also they had talked about, well, she had talked about her being a product of divorce, and with her and Harry being a product of divorced parents, I believe that furthered their union together as well, because that was a similarity that both of them can relate to. And she also, again, she wrote a poem and she memorized the poem. She remembers the poem that she wrote about when her teacher had asked the students to write a poem about their life. And I'm like, this woman right here, she don't play with her. Don't play with her, because she has that capability. Like, she has the capability to make some changes, whether you like it or not. And I'm pretty sure with her intentions behind her making changes is for the greater good, which it should be. And again, with kids being a product of divorced parents, with her parents being divorced at a young age, and Harry, his parents had got divorced at a young age too, it can be detrimental to a child. However, when you provide those resources, because it is a form of grieving process when you are divorcing from a loved one, because there is an emotional process, just like how there is a legal process when it comes to divorce. And unless you are able to get those resources to be able to cope with those emotions and feelings and actions as you're getting a divorce, it can lead to a spiral abyss. Okay. So she did express a lot within this episode and throughout the series, that she longed for a family, a two-parent household, white picket fence, a dog, couple children. And again, that just stems from being that only child, even though she was not the only child, as her and her, with the mother and the father. With on her mother's side, she is the only child, and she grew up in a environment of with women. She basically had a village of women taking care of her mother, her grandmother, and I believe her aunts and a couple other people. She had a network of women, or Miss Doria had a network of women helping her assist with taking care of Meghan. And again, that just goes to show that what people were doing back then is totally different from now, especially when it comes to bringing up children. There's a lot more people, there's not too many people longing for a village, because it does take a village to take care of a child, whether you know it or not, and whether you like it or not. Yes, you can do it alone, but it's best to have people that can help assist you along the way to help you raise a child, because you want to be burnt out, because when you're burnt out, you're not going to be able to have enough energy to give, not only for yourself, but the person that you have brought upon this earth. So I'm glad that they highlighted the essence of, even though Doria, the mother, and the father, Thomas Markle, were separated, they still maintained the healthy co-parenting route, as well as Miss Doria had a network of women to help assist her and raise Meghan. Okay. So I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was really eloquently done. And now that it fluctuates, let's see if there's anything else. Oh, the fact that she minored in English, that says enough. Meghan, she minored in English. So that's when it segued to the relationship becoming public, because again, it kind of tossed back and forth a little bit. But also, before I get into a relationship portion, Meghan didn't notice how this was in regards to Meghan speaking about this was the last time we've been at this stadium, because the first time was her graduating from the school. The second time was with a concert, and she had recalled a moment where her mom was honking the horn because the lady in front of her didn't know where she wanted to go because of the busyness of the parking lot. And you know how you get when you're in a parking lot and people don't know where they're going, and you're like, hurry up, you got to get somewhere. And so she honked the horn a couple of times, and that's when the lady got out the car saying the N word plus the ER. So that with that response, and Meghan hearing the N word the first time in her life, because again, in LA and California, it's a whole melting pot state, just like how New York is. And depending on where you stay at, you don't hear that word too often. So based on the area where she was at, she never heard that word until now, or until that incident happened with her mother, which led to her not talking about the subject matter as they were going back home. And again, that just reflects on the documentary or the limited series with Colin Kaepernick and his experience of realizing he's black, or realizing he is not, or realizing he's different to a certain capacity. Like, excuse me, I'm not white enough and I'm not black enough, because I didn't know he was adopted. But again, that's a whole nother video in itself. But I just saw the similarities between his recollection of noticing, that he's black or that he's different, compared to how Meghan and how she realized that she's black and she's different from the others. Of course, she has a black mother, but when you're not exposed to those particular vulgar words, and the list goes on, it does leave a shock. Like, okay, I don't know what's going on. Can we have a conversation about it? And I mean, Miss Doria, she did come out and say that was one of the things that she's regretted on, is not having a conversation about, how the world may perceive you as to what you've been perceived as when you grew up around, compared to what the world sees you, compared to here where you grew up at. You're just Meghan, with saying I'm black or I'm biracial. It's just Meg. Compared to outside of the realm is, oh, you're Meghan, you're biracial, you're black, you may be black enough, you're not white enough, so where you fit in, and so to speak. So again, yeah, Ms. Doria, she did admit that she wished that she could have had a conversation with Meg at the time when the incident happened, but at the same time, how do you approach that particular conversation where your child is biracial? And I know the race factor doesn't, the race factor does not exist, or is not brought up until it has been brought up. But yeah, that had been hard between her and Meg in regards to the incident that happened that time, as well as looking at the world like, dude, is this what I'm gonna have to endure for the rest of my life? And unfortunately, yes, because the world still has not gotten a grasp of, or better yet, got the picture of that, should it really matter or where you come from. The only reason why it should matter, so you can know where you come from, so you can be able to reconnect of what has been lost. But if it's going to be a continued conversation over and over and over and over again, then of course we have not gotten to the root of the issue. And that's what has been explained for within this limited docu-series, is that no matter how much good they have done, it always goes back to race. And I'm like, what's the reason, y'all? Just say you don't like her at this point. Just say you don't like her, because all this back and forth of, oh, she's this, oh, she's dramatic, oh, she shouldn't do this, she's breaking protocol, but Kate's doing the same dang thing. So it's just like, just say you don't like her, and we'll call it a day. Okay? Again, and then now it segues to the relationship becoming public. When I mean relationship becoming public, I mean Harry and Meghan's relationship becoming public. And of course there has been some ups where, okay, there's a chance for the monarchy to be modernized, because we have a tall ginger man, white man, that is marrying a biracial woman. Okay, which that is a representation that has been left out for so long, and now that is being brought for us in a modernized society, and it's happening with the royal family. This is a chance for them to get back connected with the public. But on the flip side, since people had dug up where she came from, which is from California, and with her having a black mom and a white dad, it was just like, oh, she grew up in Crenshaw, oh, she grew up in Compton, go back to Compton. And I'm like, and I'm looking at this like, in which we've all seen it happening in front of our eyes, with these reports coming out with Harry and Meghan, announcing their relationship being public. And I kid you not, I'm like, every person is not from Compton. Every person is not from Crenshaw, especially black people. I mean, we live everywhere. Compton is not all bad. I'm pretty sure Compton is not all bad. Majority of the celebrities come from Compton, okay? If they haven't came from Mississippi, they came from Compton, okay? So let's keep that straight, right? And then at the same time, the racial slurs, and the list goes on, and I'm just like, yo, when are we going to stop this? When is this going to end? As far as like, it's going to be about race. Oh, what side of the spectrum she's going to be on? Is she going to be white? Is she going to be black? Yeah, I mean, we could tell by the roots that she got a little black in her. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, girl, at this point, can these folks live? Now, I can't say I was disappointed, because I was like, Harry was one of my favorite royals, y'all. I was like, dang it, Harry, he got him a girlfriend. Dang it. That means he's off the market, bro. I was disappointed, low key, but I was happy because he finally found him somebody, and he don't have to be tagged along with William and Kate. So yeah, that's what was going on with the second episode, and it just shows you. And once they went public with their relationship, it basically all came crashing down. With all the relationships that they had before, that was really a test of time to see who was going to stick it out for them, who was going to have their back through and through, thick and thin, who was going to be more susceptible to the media, and accidentally commenting to the media, because that's the thing that happened once the relationship had got public. Was, you know, Meghan, she was talking to the paparazzi, and, you know, Harry told her not to do that because they're gonna think you like the attention. And of course she ain't know that, because in America you can get, you have your way with the paparazzi, okay? Compared to the UK, it's a whole different story. So he was just like, hey, don't talk to the paparazzi, say no comment, because they can get ruthless. And so, all in a nutshell, coming from this second episode, it just shows how twisted the media can get, y'all. It shows the dark path of the media. And all I can think about is the political science class that I took in college, and how I read within that textbook saying how the media can get orchestrated and how dirty it can get. So I can only imagine what they went through within within coming out with their relationship being public to now. But all in a nutshell, that's what I thought about. Those are my comments and my pointers from episode 2 of the veil being revealed. You know, the relationship is out and about, living out loud, and there's nothing y'all can do to stop them, basically. Let me know of your your thoughts down in the comment section, or what y'all think about the second episode. Stay tuned for the third episode, y'all. Because I feel like I need to break this down by episode, because again, there is a lot to unpack. Okay, so with that being said, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.